Following some breaking news, Rob Reiner's son, Nick Reiner, is now in custody after Rob Reiner and his wife were found from a parent at their home in Los Angeles yesterday. Let's bring in CBS News senior coordinating producer.
Rob Reiner spent his life creating stories that made people laugh, think, and feel deeply. Behind the bright lights of Hollywood, he quietly built a fortune through decades of hard work, smart choices, and lasting success. When his life came to a sudden end, what he left behind was not only memories, but a fortune that changed everything for his family. Money that once felt secure now carries heavy emotions, unanswered questions, and painful choices. How does a lifetime of wealth become a source of tears instead of comfort for those left behind? Stay tuned as we uncover the truth. A life behind the camera. Robert Norman Reiner is recognized as a significant and influential figure in the realm of American cinema and television. Through his contributions, he has influenced the way narratives are crafted, the authenticity of humor is portrayed, and the way in which emotions resonate with audiences. Reiner's lasting impact stems from his ability to infuse warmth, sincerity, and a profound reverence for storytelling that resonates with the commonplace experiences of individuals. Reiner had a significant impact on revolutionizing contemporary comedy through his work on This Is Spinal Tap. The movie played a crucial role in popularizing the mockumentary genre. Despite being fictional, the film managed to create a sense of authenticity. The bold use of improvisation was groundbreaking in Hollywood during that era. Actors were given the freedom to ad-lib, respond naturally, and develop scenes in a spontaneous manner. This innovative approach transformed the dynamics of comedy. Subsequently, many filmmakers adopted similar techniques in both films and TV shows. As a result, comedy centered around realism, satire, and genuine performances gained greater acceptance among viewers worldwide. As time passed, This Is Spinal Tap solidified its position as one of the most iconic comedies ever produced. Robert Reiner entered the world on March 6, 1947, in the Bronx, New York City. Raised in a Jewish household, he was immersed in an atmosphere of innovation. Both of his parents, Estelle and Carl Reiner, were involved in the entertainment industry, introducing him to a world of laughter and narrative. Artistry was ingrained in his everyday experiences within his family. His sibling, Annie Reiner, pursued a career in poetry, playwriting, and writing. His brother, Lucas Reiner, discovered his passion in visual arts, acting, and filmmaking. Growing up in this inventive setting influenced Robert's perception of creativity, sentiment, and human interconnectedness. In the 1980s and 1990s, Reiner had a successful streak of directing diverse films that showcased his unique style. Each movie had its own unique feel, but all shared his distinctive touch of emotion and equilibrium. Stand By Me portrayed the delicate transition from childhood to adulthood and the bittersweet experience of growing up. It had a subtle impact, yet remained impactful. The Princess Bride combined elements of fantasy, romance, and comedy in a manner that seemed eternal. The movie was adored by many, and its memorable lines became a part of common dialogue, passed down through generations. Reiner played a significant role in reshaping the romantic comedy genre with his work on When Harry Met Sally. The movie delved into the emotions and perspectives of both genders, offering a truthful and heartfelt exploration of friendship, love, uncertainty, and the passage of time. This unique approach added a layer of complexity that set it apart from other romantic films, earning it a place among the best in the genre. Reiner's work on A Few Good Men received widespread acclaim for its intense courtroom scenes and military motifs. The film is often hailed as a standout in its genre. Following that success, the bucket list popularized a common phrase, showcasing Reiner's ability to impact popular culture with subtlety. But how did he amass such wealth that left his loved ones in tears? Let's find out. From small stages, Robert Reiner did not achieve fame overnight. Rather, his success was a gradual process that required dedication, education, and a passion for narrative. His path demonstrates that humble beginnings can lead to a successful and enduring career, influenced by hard work, inquisitiveness, and passion. In the 1960s, Reiner started his training at the Bucks County Playhouse in New Hope, Pennsylvania. He started as a trainee and apprentice, where he gained hands-on experience. At the Playhouse, young artists learned through practical application. Reiner observed attentively, listened closely, and took in everything around him. He grasped the essence of storytelling on stage, observed the movements of actors, and understood the significance of timing in creating impact. These initial teachings remained ingrained in him throughout his lifetime. In that period, Reiner made a cameo appearance as Thomas, a horse handler, in an episode of Wagon Train. The episode, featuring Dean Jones, was broadcast in February 1962. Even though it was a minor role without any dialogue, it was a significant milestone in Reiner's TV career. This small beginning gave him a foothold in the television industry he aspired to be a part of. During the progress of the 1960s, Reiner played various minor roles in well-known TV series. He starred in a number of shows including Batman, That Girl, The Andy Griffith Show, Room 222, Gomer Pyle USMC, and The Beverly Hillbillies. Although these roles were brief, they provided valuable experience and boosted his self-assurance. Through these roles, he familiarized himself with television production, script implementation, and audience engagement techniques. Simultaneously, Reiner also starred in various movies. A few of these movies were helmed by his father, Carl Reiner. One example is Where's Papa?, which came out in 1970. Collaborating with his father provided Robert with a first-hand experience of the filmmaking process. He gained insight into the transformation of ideas into on-screen moments and the blending of humor and emotion. Reiner was not only skilled in acting, but also dabbled in writing for television in the late 1960s. He became part of the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour in 1968 and 1969, collaborating with Steve Martin. Their partnership brought a new and daring style to comedy. Through writing, Reiner learned how to use words, rhythm, and concepts to provoke laughter and contemplation. This knowledge proved to be valuable when he transitioned into directing. 2 years later, Reiner gained fame nationwide in the United States. He starred as Michael Stivic in the comedic series All in the Family. The show was based on a British program and achieved immense popularity in a short period. Reiner portrayed Archie Bunker's progressive son-in-law, a character that sparked significant cultural discussions. All in the Family topped television ratings for 5 consecutive years, from 1971 to 1976. Reiner's father-in-law stubbornly referred to him as Meathead on many occasions. This nickname stayed with Reiner for a long time, even after he transitioned to different projects. Nevertheless, playing this character brought him considerable acclaim. His portrayal led to him winning 2 Emmy Awards, as well as numerous other nominations, and 5 Golden Globe nominations. The popularity of All in the Family established Reiner as a well-known figure and respected actor in American television. In the month of October in the year 1971, Reiner made an appearance as a guest on an installment of The Partridge Family. Following this, he delved into the possibility of developing his own television projects. By 1972, he collaborated with Phil Mishkin and Jerry Eisenberg to bring the sitcom The Super to life for ABC. This series depicted the daily challenges faced by a dedicated superintendent of an apartment building in New York City. Despite its brief duration of only 1 season during the summer of that year, it provided Reiner with important insights and skills as a maker and supervisor. Following that time, Reiner gradually began to turn his attention to the world of cinema. Despite maintaining sporadic acting gigs, he found himself drawn more and more towards the art of directing. In the years that followed, he made a comeback to television with a recurring part in New Girl, which was on air from 2012 to 2018. This demonstrated his enduring affinity for the platform that kick-started his career. In the 1980s, Reiner made a name for himself as a director, exploring various genres while always maintaining a sense of precision and thoughtfulness in his work. One of his early projects was This Is Spinal Tap, which was released in 1984 and quickly gained a dedicated following for its seamless blend of comedy and authenticity. Following the success of this film, Reiner went on to direct Stand By Me in 1986, a heartfelt, coming-of-age tale that resonated with audiences for its genuine emotion. Then, in 1987, he released The Princess Bride, a whimsical fantasy that captivated viewers of all ages with its elements of romance and humor. Reiner frequently collaborated with film editor Robert Layton, resulting in a cohesive and contemplative pace in his movies. This alliance significantly influenced the overall feel and speed of his most famous projects. Through his production company, Castle Rock Entertainment, Reiner helmed many movies that received both positive reviews and box office success. When Harry Met Sally, a romantic comedy he directed in 1989, quickly became a beloved classic within its genre. In 1990, his thriller Misery garnered critical acclaim and won Kathy Bates an Academy Award for her role as Best Actress. A Few Good Men, a military courtroom drama Reiner directed in 1992, was his most profitable film and received a nomination for Best Picture. Over the years, Reiner stayed busy behind the camera working on impactful movies. Some of these projects were The American President in 1995, Ghosts of Mississippi in 1996, and The Bucket List in 2007. Being Charlie, released in 2015, was a special project for Reiner, as it was a film co-written by his son, Nick. This movie gave audiences a glimpse into Reiner's personal life and his close relationship with his family. In addition to his work as a director, Reiner also continued to pursue acting, taking on smaller roles in various films. He could be seen in movies like Throw Mama from the Train, Sleepless in Seattle, Bullets Over Broadway, The First Wives Club, Primary Colors, EDTV, and The Wolf of Wall Street. Reiner even made appearances in his own movies, most notably as Marty DeBurgi in This Is Spinal Tap. In addition to those roles, he also had parts in films like The Story of Us, Alex and Emma, and Shock and Awe. Reiner didn't mind poking fun at himself, as demonstrated by his cameo appearances in movies like Dickie Roberts, Former Child Star, and 30 Rock. In November 2023, Reiner teamed up with journalist Soledad O'Brien to introduce a 10-episode podcast series called Who Killed JFK? Following that, a month later, he hosted a CBS primetime special honoring Dick Van Dyke with a touching tribute and discussion. In August of 2025, Reiner filmed the band Spinal Tap playing at Stonehenge for a concert movie called Stonehenge: The Final Finale. The film was originally intended for a theatrical release in the next year, but was postponed due to his death. His last finished film, Spinal Tap 2: The End Continues, came out 3 months before he passed away. But making memories for the world didn't guarantee staying clear of troubles. Stay with us. The cost of speaking out. Film, comedy, and storytelling were not the sole influences on Robert Reiner's life. As his voice in the public arena became more prominent, so did the scrutiny he faced. Engaging in political and social causes led to him being at the forefront of contentious discussions. Although some praised his bravery and dedication, others vehemently opposed his beliefs and deeds. This conflict eventually became a significant and enduring aspect of his public image. Reiner gained fame for his progressive activism, advocating for social justice, and using his platform to champion causes he deemed just and vital. He played a key role in establishing the American Foundation for Equal Rights, which spearheaded the legal battle against California Proposition 8, a law that prohibited same-gender marriage in the state. While his supporters lauded him for his commitment to equality, detractors argued that he was overstepping boundaries by using his celebrity status to meddle in political issues that they believed should not be influenced by famous individuals. In 1998, Reiner stepped into a prominent position as the head of the effort to push through California Proposition 10. This measure established First 5 California, a program aimed at promoting the growth and well-being of young children. The funding for the program came from a tax imposed on tobacco items. Reiner went on to become the initial chairman of the organization and held this position from 1999 to 2006. His efforts were centered around aiding children and minimizing the negative effects of smoking. Nonetheless, his bold opposition to tobacco companies and smoking culture sparked intense responses. His advocacy work put him directly in the spotlight in mainstream culture. As a result, he was caricatured in a mocking manner in an installment of the animated show South Park. In this particular episode, he was portrayed in a severe and over-the-top light, painting him as both deceitful and fanatical. Although satire typically magnifies the flaws of public figures, this representation further fueled the disapproval aimed at him and emphasized the contentious nature of his activism. During his time as chair of the First Five Commission, Reiner became embroiled in more controversy due to his support of California Proposition 82, which sought to provide funding for public preschools. Critics claimed that it was unethical for him to advocate for the measure while in his position of authority. The criticism eventually forced Reiner to step down from his role on March 29, 2006. Later, an inspection was carried out to assess the actions taken by the Commission. The inspection determined that the Commission had not violated any state regulations and had the proper authorization to conduct public advertising campaigns about early childhood education. Nonetheless, the auditor expressed reservations. It was discovered that the Commission had granted over $77 million in media contracts without adequately examining their expenses. Despite the absence of legal violations, this discovery led to critique and raised concerns about supervision and expenditure. Ultimately, Proposition 82 was not endorsed by voters, representing a public blow to Reiner's endeavors. Apart from participating in these campaigns, Reiner was also involved in the Social Responsibility Task Force, which promoted moderation in addressing social issues that may arise in the entertainment industry. While some saw this as a thoughtful approach to balancing creativity and responsibility, others viewed it as an attempt by Reiner to impose his personal beliefs on creative spaces that should be free from political influence. Reiner was actively engaged in environmental advocacy as well. A notable accomplishment of his was his involvement in the conservation of Unanswered Ranch in California. He played a significant role in transforming the land into a state park and sanctuary for wildlife, rather than allowing it to be developed for commercial purposes. Supporters of environmental causes lauded this achievement as a valuable contribution to the preservation of nature and public enjoyment. On the other hand, detractors viewed his activism as aggressive, claiming that he frequently manipulated situations to align with his personal beliefs. In July 2007, Reiner showcased the reunited band Spinal Tap at the London Live Earth concert. The concert aimed to raise awareness about environmental issues. Though some fans appreciated the performance, others criticized Reiner for mixing entertainment and activism, feeling it was inappropriate. Reiner was once considered as a potential opponent for California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. Instead of seeking a political position, he opted to focus on his goals outside of government. His supporters admired his explanation for this choice, considering it to be genuine. On the other hand, his detractors contended that he continued to exert influence in politics without being held accountable as an elected official. Over time, Reiner actively worked to support Democratic candidates. He backed Al Gore in the 2000 election and went to Iowa to campaign for Howard Dean before the 2004 caucuses. In 2008, he showed his support for Hillary Clinton and even contributed $10,000 to a political action committee that backed her 2016 campaign. These efforts not only reinforced his reputation as a dedicated political figure, but also showed that he was more than just a filmmaker. After the election in 2016, Reiner started to openly express his disapproval of Donald Trump even more. He publicly attacked Trump, portraying him as a source of harm and division. Reiner also participated in discussions about harassment and inappropriate behavior, where he argued that Trump, like Harvey Weinstein, should be categorized as an offender. These comments led to increased criticism directed at Reiner, particularly from Trump's followers. Reiner went on to join the advisory board of the committee investigating Russia. The organization initiated a website and a campaign alerting people about Russian involvement in the United States. A video featuring Morgan Freeman was part of the project, presenting the issue as a significant national concern. The advisory board comprised numerous prominent political and intelligence personalities. Advocates viewed the initiative as a patriotic and essential endeavor. Detractors, however, alleged that Reiner and his colleagues were fear-mongering and promoting conspiracy theories. By November 2020, the advisory committee had expanded to incorporate numerous ex-intelligence and defense authorities. This enlargement continued to provoke criticism, particularly from skeptics who thought the Russia inquiry was driven by political motives rather than sincere apprehensions. Reiner gave his support to Joe Biden during the presidential election in 2020. In June 2021, he revealed his intention to work on a TV project called The Spy and the Asset. This project aimed to delve into the connection between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, examining their upbringing and how their paths converged in politics. Prior to its debut, the concept received backlash, with many suggesting Reiner was using entertainment as a means to go after Trump. In September 2025, Reiner participated in an interview with CNN where he criticized Trump and the Federal Communications Commission once more. He hinted at the possibility of media personalities like himself being censored in the near future, sparking worry among his followers and annoyance among his detractors who accused him of blowing things out of proportion. Following Reiner's demise, he continued to be the subject of controversy, even in death. On social media, Donald Trump ridiculed Reiner, making insensitive comments about his passing and insinuating that his anger may have been a factor. Trump went on to assert that Reiner had a fixation on him, leading to further backlash. Trump's remarks were met with widespread disapproval, with politicians from all sides denouncing his reaction as improper and disrespectful. Even members of Trump's own political party publicly distanced themselves from his comments. Trump restated his previous remarks when questioned about them, labeling Reiner as detrimental to the nation and alleging his involvement in what Trump deemed the Russia deception. By making these assertions, the gap between opinions widened and ensured that critiques of Reiner persisted long after his death. But how much wealth did Rob actually accumulate, and how did he do it? Stick around to find out. A life of success. Rob Reiner's financial success was a result of his consistent and gradual climb in Hollywood. His fortune was not the result of a sudden burst of fame, but rather years of dedication in various roles such as actor, director, writer, and producer. At the time of his passing, Reiner had amassed a net worth of $2 billion. He passed away at the age of 78, leaving a lasting creative legacy as well as a solid financial base. Reiner accumulated wealth from various engagements in the entertainment industry. He seamlessly transitioned between acting, directing, writing, and producing, enhancing his earnings and creative autonomy. His prolific career in film and television ensured a reliable source of income over numerous years, contributing significantly to his financial security. Reiner's financial journey took a significant turn with the film This Is Spinal Tap. As of 2016, Reiner, along with Michael McKean, Christopher Guest, and Harry Shearer, found themselves embroiled in a legal battle against Vivendi, a major French media corporation. Vivendi controlled the film's rights through Studio Canal and Universal Music Group. The creators alleged that Vivendi employed deceitful financial practices, preventing them from receiving their rightful earnings. The film was reported to have generated revenue for an extended period of time from various sources such as home video sales, music, and merchandise. Despite this, the creators claimed that they had only received a total of $179 in royalties by 2013. They alleged that the company had concealed profits by combining the film's earnings with losses from other ventures. In the lawsuit, they sought damages amounting to as much as $400 million. This legal battle shed light on the reality that even highly accomplished artists may find themselves in a struggle to safeguard the worth of their creations. Reiner demonstrated good decision-making in the real estate market as well. Back in 1988, he invested in a Beverly Hills property spanning 2,701 square feet, for which he paid $777,500. A decade down the line, he successfully offloaded the property for close to $2 million, yielding a significant profit on his initial investment. In 1994, Reiner acquired a residence in the prestigious Malibu Colony neighborhood. Although the exact cost was not disclosed, the property quickly became one of his top assets. He also leased out the beachfront home to various individuals throughout the years. During off-peak times, the rental rate was approximately $100,000 per month. In peak summer months, the price increased to $150,000 or higher. The estimated worth of the home eventually ranged from $15 to $20 million. During a similar period, Reiner made a purchase of a spacious protected estate in the Brentwood area of Los Angeles. The price he paid for this residence was $4.75 million in the early 1990s. Its worth significantly appreciated over the years, with some later appraisals valuing it at over $10 million. Reiner possessed a second seaside property in Malibu Colony, which he acquired for around $4 million. Similar to his first residence in Malibu, this property also appreciated in value and was later appraised at a value between $15 and $20 million. He frequently rented out this property too, generating significant monthly revenue during busy times. So how did his life end? A quiet end to a public life. Robert Reiner passed away unexpectedly on December 14, 2025, at the age of 78. On that same tragic day, his wife Michelle, who was 70 years old, also passed away. The couple was discovered in their residence in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles. The news of their sudden deaths left many of Reiner's fans and admirers in disbelief and sorrow. The couple was found dead in their peaceful home, revealing that they had suffered fatal wounds from a sharp weapon. The information was distressing for the community to comprehend, signifying the end of a life that had brought joy, love, and significance to countless people. The added complication stemmed from the uncertainty and anxiety regarding the discovery of the bodies and the initial responders to the scene. Initial findings regarding the sighting were eventually rectified. As per a report in the New York Times dated December 16, 2025. It was disclosed by a reliable insider that Reiner's daughter, Romy, was the one who stumbled upon her father's remains. It should be noted that she did not come across her mother during this distressing incident. Romy decided to pay a visit to her parents' residence after they failed to show up for a prearranged massage session. The masseuse had reached out to her to express concerns about the situation. Accompanied by her housemate, Romy went to the house filled with worry and uncertainty about what lay ahead. Upon entering the house, Romy was shocked to discover her father's lifeless body. Unaware of her mother's presence, she quickly made her escape out of fear. It was only later that she found out her mother had also passed away. The tragic event left a lasting impact on everyone affected, particularly those with close ties to the family. Emergency responders were contacted shortly thereafter. The Los Angeles Fire Department answered a medical assistance request at 3:38 in the afternoon, Pacific Standard Time. Responders arrived at the Brentwood residence and verified the deaths of Robert and Michelle Reiner. Law enforcement was alerted and initiated their inquiry immediately. The household, previously a sanctuary for family and solace, transformed into a setting of mourning and uncertainties. Upon contacting the authorities, Romy contacted Billy Crystal, a close friend and professional collaborator of her father, for support. Billy Crystal promptly arrived at the residence with his wife after being informed. His quick response underscored the strong connection shared by the two men, both professionally and personally. Having friends present during such a difficult time provided a sense of solace, although the weight of the loss was still deeply felt. On the same day, there was a new tragic development as the Reiner's son, Nick, was arrested by the Los Angeles police in the Exposition Park neighborhood. The authorities detained him on suspicion of committing an elimination. Nick had been residing with his parents in their Brentwood residence at that time. The arrest brought even more pain and shock to the already heart-wrenching situation. Details about the events leading to their deaths started to surface quickly. Robert and Nick were present at a Christmas gathering thrown by Conan O'Brien on the night of December 13th. Witnesses shared that Nick was causing disturbances during the party, making some guests uneasy with his behavior. Individuals who were at the gathering and chose to remain unidentified mentioned that a heated disagreement erupted between the father and son. The disagreement between Robert and Nick arose when Robert addressed Nick's conduct at the party. Robert reprimanded Nick for his behavior, sparking a confrontation that caught the attention of onlookers. The tension between the two was palpable, and their disagreement carried over even after the party concluded. This incident would later play a crucial role in the investigation. Nick was detained at the Twin Towers Correctional Facility in Los Angeles after he was taken into custody. He faced 2 charges of first-degree elimination on December 16, 2025. These charges involved a special circumstance concerning multiple killings. The announcement was challenging for the community to digest, considering it concerned a prominent family and a profoundly personal calamity. The passing of Robert and Michelle Reiner caused a great deal of confusion among those who knew them, as they were known for their creative talent and kindness. Those who knew them, including friends, co-workers, and admirers, mourned not only the death of a talented artist, but also the loss of a peaceful private life that was tainted by fear and sadness. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.